Before we dive into the timelines, you must understand one thing. Money is not wealth. Money is control.
Oh.
Wealth is land. Wealth is labor. Wealth is energy, natural resources, inventions, people, and production. But money? Money is the measuring tool, and the group that controls the measuring tool controls everything being measured. Yet almost no one questions where money comes from, how it's created, or who decides how much exists. The history books don't teach the full story. Schools teach money as an economic tool. Governments teach it as a symbol of national pride. Banks teach it as a product they generously provide. But the truth is this: money is a technology that has been manipulated, redesigned, weaponized, and repurposed to centralize power for thousands of years. In every civilization, every era, every empire, the same pattern emerges. Money begins as a neutral tool. Slowly, elites manipulate it to serve their interests. The common population loses freedom without even noticing. A collapse or revolt eventually resets the system. The cycle starts again. And every time, the people living inside the system believe they are experiencing something new, unexpected, or unprecedented. But tonight, we're going to break that illusion. Let's start at the beginning. The first manipulation. Ancient Mesopotamia. The earliest form of money wasn't coins, it was something far more dangerous: debt. Clay tablets in Mesopotamia recorded obligations between farmers and temples. But soon, elite priests realized something. If they controlled the records, they controlled the people. This was the first central bank, the first monetary manipulation. They discovered a formula. Control the ledger gives, control the economy gives, control society. Sound familiar? But this was just the warm-up. The standardization trick. Lydia, 600 BCE, the first coins appeared in the kingdom of Lydia, gold and silver stamped with royal symbols. People believed the stamp guaranteed the coin's value, but kings quickly learned they could scrape gold off older coins, mint new ones with the same stamp, and spend the difference. This was the earliest form of inflation, not the natural kind, the engineered kind. Secret was simple. If the people trust the symbol, they won't question the substance. That lesson changed the world. Rome's downfall, when money died before the empire did. The Roman Empire is remembered for its military conquests. But the true story of its collapse begins with a tiny, almost invisible change. Silver coins that quietly contained less silver each decade. By the time Rome fell, the denarius, once 98% silver, contained less than 1%. Bread prices rose. Soldiers were paid in worthless money. Citizens lost faith. The empire drowned under its own manipulation. The elites survived. Population didn't. This pattern will repeat again and again. Fast forward to the 17th and 18th centuries. Europe is reshaped by wars, exploration, and power struggles. But behind every crown, a quieter force begins rising. Private bankers. These aren't the bankers we imagine today. They were power brokers who funded kings, financed wars, and controlled national destinies. The trick was brilliant. Instead of controlling people directly, they controlled governments through debt. The Bank of England, the model for the world. England is broke after war. A group of private financiers offer a solution. We will lend you money if you create a central bank we control. The Bank of England is born. For the first time in history, a nation's currency is issued as interest-bearing debt to private entities. Let that sink in. A sovereign nation, borrowing its own money. From private lenders, this model spreads across Europe, then America, and the world. It becomes the default, the unquestioned norm. But the real shock: most democracies today operate under the exact same structure. The American twist, a battle for the money machine. The United States fought multiple wars, not just against foreign powers, but against its own banking system. Presidents like Andrew Jackson, Abraham Lincoln, and John F. Kennedy all fought to limit or break banker control over money issuance. Jackson shut down the central bank. Lincoln issued debt-free greenbacks. Kennedy tried to weaken the Federal Reserve. Every one of these leaders faced fierce internal opposition. 2 were assassinated. 1 survived an assassination attempt. Coincidence? History rarely is. But the bankers eventually won. In 1913, the Federal Reserve Act passed. America's money creation was handed to a private banking consortium, the final piece in a global puzzle. At that moment, the modern era of money manipulation began. For thousands of years, money was tied to something physical: grain, land, gold, silver. But that limited what governments and bankers could do. So in the 20th century, a radical idea emerged. What if money had no physical limit at all? What if money was just numbers? Bretton Woods, the illusion of stability after World War II. World powers meet in Bretton Woods. The US dollar becomes the global reserve currency, backed by gold. The world believes stability is guaranteed. But there was a secret flaw. The US printed more dollars than it had gold. By the 1960s, foreign nations began asking for their gold back. The vaults were not full enough. 1971, the day money died. In August 1971, President Nixon announces that the US will temporarily suspend the convertibility of dollars into gold. This temporary decision has never been reversed. Money becomes pure abstraction, a belief system, a political tool, a programmable illusion. From this moment forward, governments could print unlimited money, banks could lend unlimited money, debt could grow forever. But unlimited systems always collapse. You just need time. Once money became limitless, a chain reaction began. Explosion of global debt in 1970. Global debt was around $1.5 trillion. Today, it is over $315 trillion, more than 3 times global GDP. This is not an accident. Debt is the product. Money is the delivery system. You are the customer. Wealth gap, the engineered outcome when new money is created. It goes to banks, corporations, and governments first. The rich get richer. The poor pay the inflation. This is not a flaw. It's the design. Boom and bust cycles. Predictable, not accidental. Every major crisis, the 1987 crash, the dot-com bubble, the 2008 collapse, the 2020 shock follows the same pattern. Money expands. Asset prices explode. Debt loads increase. Instability grows. Collapse unexpectedly happens. Those who caused the problem get bailed out. The cycle restarts. The winners are always the same. The losers, also the same. Governments offer solutions: stimulus packages, bailouts, interest rate tinkering, regulation. But these are band-aids on a system designed to bleed. Why do fixes fail? Reason 1. The system rewards debt, not productivity. Removing debt would collapse the system. Reason 2. Inflation is built into the architecture. Governments need inflation to reduce the real value of their debt. Reason 3. Central banks are not neutral. They serve the financial elite, not citizens. Reason 4. Every solution benefits the top before the bottom, and so the cycle continues. Governments offer solutions: stimulus packages, bailouts, interest rate tinkering, regulation. But these are band-aids on a system designed to bleed. Why do fixes fail? Reason 1. The system rewards debt, not productivity. Removing debt would collapse the system. Reason 2. Inflation is built into the architecture. Governments need inflation to reduce the real value of their debt. Reason 3. Central banks are not neutral. They serve the financial elite, not citizens. Reason for every solution benefits the top before the bottom, and so the cycle continues. 7. Modern parallels the pattern continues today. The digital money leap. Governments are now planning central bank digital currencies. Programmable money where every transaction can be tracked, restricted, taxed, or reversed. This is not innovation. This is the oldest form of control reinvented with new technology. The rising debt bomb countries now borrow to pay interest on previous borrowing. This is not sustainable. It is mathematical decay. But the system cannot reverse. It can only accelerate. The wealth concentration peak today. The top 1% owns more wealth than the bottom 99%. The world's richest individuals gain billions during crises. Median citizens lose purchasing power even as income rises. This is not a glitch. It is the inevitable result of manipulated money. Governments offer solutions: stimulus packages, bailouts, interest rate tinkering, regulation. But these are band-aids on a system designed to bleed. Why do fixes fail? Reason 1. The system rewards debt, not productivity. Removing debt would collapse the system. Reason 2. Inflation is built into the architecture. Governments need inflation to reduce the real value of their debt. Reason 3. Central banks are not neutral. They serve the financial elite, not citizens. Reason 4. Every solution benefits the top before the bottom, and so the cycle continues.